Good morning, gang. Happy Friday morning. And for those of you political junkies out there, it's a very happy morning. After a lot of things that happened yesterday, which should make anybody who loves the United States extremely happy. If you're a card-carrying communist, probably not. Okay. But let's take a look at what happened yesterday. The biggest one, of course, Kash Patel, was confirmed by the Senate. So he is the new FBI director as soon as he's sworn in. That's going to make a lot of people worried. I mean, you look at what happened yesterday. It was a 51-49 vote. The two witches of Eastwick voted no. That would be Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Okay. Both of them are on the chopping block. They've already both been put on notice that they will be primaried. Susan Collins is up for re-election in 2026 in Maine. Lisa Murkowski is up for re-election in 2028 in Alaska. And the GOP is already fielding candidates to primary them. I mean, to give you how silly this is, if you think they're Republicans, they're not. I mean, Susan Collins votes with the Republicans about 53% of the time. She voted to support Barack Obama's policies 75% of the time. Okay. Yeah. Maine's a blue state, okay, for the most part, population-wise, not landmass-wise. But Susan Collins is pretty much toast, hopefully, which is good. Lisa Murkowski, of course, she's going to be a little bit more difficult because Alaska's got this stupid ranked choice voting. But I have a strong feeling that Lisa Murkowski's actions aren't going to help her at all. So we'll see what happens. The one surprising yes vote yesterday on Kash Patel was Mitch McConnell. Who knows if it was him voting or his aides or his doctor or whatever. The good news that came out of Mitch McConnell yesterday, he's not running for re-election in 2026. Mitch McConnell is retiring. Thank freaking God, because a lot of the problems we have in this country, you can blame on Mitch McConnell. You say, why do you say that? Well, the GOP didn't have control of the House for decades. And then, of course, you got back in the 90s and Newt Gingrich had it. And eventually it wound up Mitch McConnell's job to handle to run the Republican Party in the House of Representatives, or in the Senate. And he, even when he had majorities, decided, now we'll vote with the Democrats. He was the art of negotiation by caving. Oh, we'll give you whatever you want. I've got a plan, don't worry. Said every supervillain in any movie you've ever watched. They've always got a plan, and it always fails, which is pretty much Mitch McConnell's legacy. So, good. McConnell's gone from the Senate. Not that John Thune is any great shakes. Hopefully we will have a majority leader, different one, when John Thune is tossed out, along with John Cornyn. We need to get rid of him too. Okay. We need to get true conservatives back in charge of the GOP. Basically, the GOP needs to die just like the Democrat Party needs to die. And basically, we need to call them both what they actually are. You could call it the MAGA Party, you could call it the Patriot Party, whatever you want, but it ain't the Republican Party anymore. The Democrats the same way. They aren't democratic at all. You just need to call them the Communist Party or the Socialist Party, and at least let's get to the truth. But that was another good thing that happened yesterday. The other good one that happened, and this is one that's going to affect all of us, is Elon Musk has now announced there will be an audit of Fort Knox. Now, mind you this, Ron Paul and then Rand Paul have been trying to get into Fort Knox to audit our gold for decades and have been rebuffed at every attempt they've ever had. And now all of a sudden, it's a presidential order that this is going to get done. It's going to be interesting. As I've said a couple of times here, I get a feeling all they're going to find is mice and dust. And whether or not it's in that vault or the West Point vault or any of the other vaults, where our gold is going to be interesting. Y'all know, as well as I do, the price of gold and the price of silver have been artificially manipulated for years. But all of a sudden, in the last few years, we've seen one hell of a run in both of them, okay? You know, to the point of doubling in price. And it keeps going. I talked about it a week ago or so, you know, that the best performing asset class so far in 2025 is gold and silver. Why? Because they know there's no gold there. See, you can manipulate the price of gold very easily with futures. And you can short, meaning selling something you don't have and betting the price to go down, gold and silver. But you don't have to deliver it physically. You just have to go cover your short so they can artificially keep the price down. All of a sudden now, the traders are demanding their payoffs to be made in physical gold and silver. Why do you think all of a sudden that there's plane loads of gold coming from London to the United States? See, what the U.S. has done for so long is they've loaned out our gold. Not sold it, they've loaned it. And so then they collect interest on it or whatever. And so now it's got to be called back because the people that rightfully own it, who were on the correct side of a trade, are demanding delivery. You've seen for a couple of years now, countries are stacking gold. Institutions, banks are stacking gold. And the Fed has been very quiet. Why is it that Poland is buying gold and the United States isn't? Right? We got to get ours back first. They've been using this as a slush fund. And now the cows have been called home. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens when this audit goes down. Because the criminals are going to be exposed. And as I said with the first piece of good news, Kash Patel is now in charge of the FBI. Pam Bondi is already in charge of the DOJ. There's a lot of fear and loathing in Washington, D.C. You have people like Adam Schiff who are shaking in their boots because, as I told you the other day, some of Biden's pardons have already been overturned because he's not allowed to do it. If I'm Adam Schiff, if I'm Liz Cheney, if I'm Jerry Nadler, if I'm Adam Kinzinger, if I'm Nancy Pelosi, and there's plenty of Republicans I can add to those lists too. If I'm Chuck Schumer, for example, another Democrat, I'm very worried because Trump has shown there ain't nobody above the law. We're going after everybody. Everybody who's gotten fat and happy off of cheating the taxpayers is going down. And Trump has had this plan in mind for probably 4 years. Who can I get that is going to be a bulldog going after this? And he knew what he was doing. The lies, the cheating, the stealing is coming to an end. I still want to see orange jumpsuits and silver bracelets. But every day that passes, I get a feeling, a better feeling, that my wishes may soon be granted. Pinball out.